Bosh! Large here. Now, I hope you haven't sat down expecting to see tries scored, or players chasing kicks, or better still, conversions. Well, if you have, get out now. Get a life, because we're going to see players of Union and League out to munch. We'll see the fat boys crank it up, posh. And even, that's right, the Jessicas, they have their moments too. But before that, I'd like you to meet the one and only, that's right, the Munch. Yo, Munch, how's it hanging?
Scrape, scrape. Yo, cockle.
Strong. If you think that's strange, wait till you see the wobble wig. But hold on a minute. Let's have some history. Let's take a trip back to where it all began. Munchum, dictum.
Good Lord! What is Michael Gordon Skinner togged up like this for?
Well, I'll tell you, you mute. I'm here at Rugby School in the heart of England, where in 1823 a soccer game was being played. William the Fat Boy Ellis picked up the ball, scampered to the opposition's line, shouting,
Farquhar, look at me, I'm large.
Now that was the birth of rugby football. And here, what did Webbo get for his troubles? A plaque at Rugby School. And what do the girls in the backs get for their trouble? Modelling contracts. And us fat boys, scrumpox. Webbo, thanks a bunch. In those days, gentlemen, that's what it was all about. Being taught to be a gentleman. Today, it's a bit different. We're taught to crank it up. We're taught to munch. It's all a bit different now. Wrong. Hey up, stop there, because that's not the full story. In 1895, the stronger northern clubs were getting hacked off, taking time off work and playing rugby. It's just not on. So they came here to Huddersfield, in Yorkshire, to the George, because they were going to do something about it. Come with me. And in this very room, you can smell the history. Probably at this very table, at this very chair. It was decided that 22 northern clubs would break away from the Rugby Football Union, calling themselves the Northern Rugby Football Union. But it wasn't until 1922 that the name was changed to League. In those days, the crowds were huge, but today, the players are huge.
That's for sure.
Bosh! So that's how Union and League began. But here we are, bosh, at Blackheath Rugby Club, the oldest rugby club in the world, where those days England had most of the Blackheath players in their first team. Talking about Blackheath players, Captain Strong Black, meeting the Prince of Wales. I just wonder what they were saying to each other.
Oh, Blackie, what's that thing on your head? Oh, it's a jockstrap. I lost its spoof last night.
OK, troops, so that's it. That's how it started. Both codes, Union and League, to the present day. Now we're going to just profile it a little bit, bring it in to Union and the Fat Boys cranking it up, 'cause they are out to munch.
A big bosh is not necessarily a big tackle, as the leader of the Fat Boys, Fatty Alofa, shows here, for counties against Otago. I knew the try line was here somewhere. And now we've got Fiji, because it rhymes with Fatty Alofa. Zinzan Valentine? You must be joking. But to be serious for 1 minute, Zinzan Valentine Brook is strong. He can not only bosh, he can take the ball on and has the strength to get the ball away as well. He's a back row player who likes to hit hard, but up top, bosh! He doesn't prefer the ankles, he prefers the chest, and he wants to knock you into next week. Head, shoulders or chest. Oh my lord! Bosh, my lord! Bevan? Bevan? Come on, Billy Bevan. Similar in size and weight to Valentine, but better known for attacking with the ball in his hands. Watch out, you sweaties! Bevan's on his way!
Get out the road, you mutes!
But what you don't know about Billy Bevan is Craig Chalmers called him a woofter. Call me a woofter? A woofter? But Bevan sometimes just doesn't know when to stop. Put the ball down! Bevan, put the ball down! You're over the line! That's good, Bevan. When you've scored, put the ball in the air. Timothy Andrew Keith. This boy loves the physical. He's big, he's fast, and he wants to hurt people. There's just something that happens when Keith puts the 6 on his back. And Keith loves to play against the Frogs. He drives it forward, close to the line, perfect presentation. Willie O. Willie O. Or Willie not. Willie will. Will he will. He's a big lad, and even Bunce doesn't stop him. Crashing over for a try. It took me ages to find a cheap shot of Willie O because he's probably the fairest back row player around. He's the Tongan torpedo, Willie O. Oh, watch out for Willie O! Bosh over the line.
Out to lunch. That's the fat boys. But as I love to call the girls in the backs, the Jessicas, they have their moments. They can crank it, and they can crank it large. So just watch this. Joanna Lumley. We know she wears pink knickers now. She's taller and heavier than all the back rows featured here. Joanna Lumley, what a machine. She has the ability to humiliate not only teams in the Super 12s, but international opposition when it comes to running through tackles. Bosh! Get out the way! Bosh! Get out the way, you mute! Bosh! He's the Southern Hemisphere James Bond. He gets back and covers. They might not be pretty, but they're effective. And in attack, you'll find him at fly half or in the centre. He's just looking to be mean. And he can play football. Frank Enery, the Terminator of rugby union. He's the big Bosch merchant. Everything that Jerry Guscott isn't when it comes to the size of his tackle.
A lot of islanders like the physical nature of the game, you know, and big hits are part and parcel of the game, and not only in New Zealand but in all through the islands. That is, I must admit, it is a part of the game that I enjoy. I enjoy tackling. It's just the nature of the game. It's the nature of me, you know. I just like the contact. The more physical the game, I think the better I like it.
He likes the physical. Terry Lacroix doesn't. Oh! Enery learnt his trade in that great Polynesian island, Western Samoa. They know how to crank it. Bosh! Bosh! A great mucker of mine, Colin from Crickhowl. That's Dewi Morris. So, Colin, tell me about your biggest bosh.
The best bosh I ever put in was actually they scored a try. It was in Parc des Princes. 19, you have me thinking now, and I hit the scrum half. But I hit him so hard, Skip. He was like you hitting Poidovan.
Crank it up!
In 91.
Top man.
But no one ever sees that, that's the thing. No one ever sees what I did with it, which is no problem.
But a scrum half tackle that I will remember is Bracken's against the Sweaties. It just takes me back to when the Sweaties were sweating. But one bloke I love to see sweat is Richard Lowe from New Zealand. Here he is against George Gregan, and does he sweat? Here we go, in... And bosh! You have just been munched. Terence Small? Terence Smalley Van? Well, he's not that small. Here against England and Tony Underwood. He knows how to munch, and he also knows how to cheat, flicking that ball into touch. Pretty boy. He reminds me of a springbok bringing down a lion. I know in real life it doesn't happen that way, but then when does a springbok bring down a tank? Bosh! Like that. Even Tugamala gets it. Squeak! Squeaky Robert Andrew, MBE. He's the gel boy of the England backs. Squeak! Squeak, 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 squeak. He might be squeaky because he's very clean, but he's also very clean in the tackle. Around the ankles, and there you have a perfect executed tackle. Squeak! But Rob, playing 10 against the All Blacks at Twickenham was outstanding. Every time the All Blacks attacked, the pretty boy at 10 was there to munch. Bunch, munch, bunch and crunch. Ha! There you are, Lodge. Well, you've seen the Fat Boys and Jessica's from Union. Well, here we are at the London Broncos, the newest rugby league club. If you think Union can crank it up, just watch these boys. Crank, crank, crank! Crank, crank, crank! Super tanker! Ingrid Tugamala, or Inga to his mates. Inga the winger, the stinger. Sting! 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 Bosh! Bosh! Lodge! And one more Lodge to finish. Sometimes it's more interesting watching the feeble attempt at a tackle. Just don't watch Ingrid out to munch here. Watch Martin Johnson, the Lions' number 4. Ingrid out to munch. Johnson gets it. So here we are, London Broncos, and we're strong. What's stronger than Inga Tugamala? Here he is. He loves to crank it up. Tell me about that big bosh.
Big bosh, the big tackle.
The big tackle.
Big tackle. Well, probably my biggest tackle I've ever given someone was probably when I first came here with rugby league to Wigan, and the game that I remember was against Castleford, and the legendary Lee Crooks, as they're known. I didn't know anything about his reputation or how strong he was, and probably that was my biggest tackle. When I cleaned him right out, I had the biggest cheer of the afternoon,
yeah.
not knowing that he had a great reputation and he's a legend.
Ingrid, league or union, headband or not, he loves to crank it. From one Samoan supertanker to another, Valerie Matautia. He is large. Just look at this boy's sidestep. In fact, look at those thighs. It was those thighs that put pay to Paul Cullen from Warrington. Normally the watching line is huge, but Valerie saw him off. Watching Valerie run and play for St Helens, it has dawned on me that they play spoof as well, because against the Bradford Bulls coming up, he's got his jockstrap on his head. And for that, the Munch will give you a bottle of champagne in one.
I'm interested in the league club in general. Which club do you think would be the club that likes to rough you up a bit? You know, the team that Wigan might play where, you know, they're not that interested in running with it. They want to sort of take the football to you a bit.
I think the team that I feel go closest to the mark would have to be Oldham. They've got a very strong pack. They've got a guy there called Jason Timu, and believe you me, when this guy hits him, he gives them.
Tackling is at least 70% of the game, you know. He's tackle hard, 2, 3 men in the tackle all the time, knock the players back. You've got to be prepared for the big hits.
Leon Scott Quinnell. Come from Union to League and now back to Union again. Leon is from great stock. Derek, his father, and Barry John, his uncle. Great men from the valleys. Meet a man who loves to munch and loves to get munched. Apollo 11 Perolini. You've met the Terminator of Union.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Meet the Terminator of League. He was named after a space mission, and now he's on a mission.
Since this'll be the place. Large?
Yo! Mick the Munch Skinner.
Apollo, the Terminator, Perolini.
Strong.
Apollo 11 Perolini.
also known as the Terminator. Would you kindly tell me what it's all about?
There's a nickname that was given to me by a few of the media and some of the players during the 1991 World Cup. I mean, it's one nickname that people would not, a person would not like to have, because with a nickname like that, everybody expects you to go out there and smash somebody every week. You know, it's really hard to live up to a name like that, because people like to come in and disprove the name.
Do you get physically challenged every week by
Yeah.
people looking to hit you hard?
Yeah.
Look to bounce you off?
Yeah.
That happens?
Yep, every
frequently?
week, yeah. So every time they've got the ball, somewhere they're trying to see, you know, if I really can tackle hard by running straight for me, or some will just say, nah, forget it, I don't want to take the chance. When I came from rugby union to rugby league, I've been tackled quite hard in rugby union, but in rugby league, you get it every time you get the ball.
Would you prefer to crank it up, a really big hit in front of 60,000, or would you prefer scoring a try?
I think I'd prefer scoring a try.
Well, the Munch wanted to give him a champagne bottle, but instead, I've decided, Apollo, this is for you.
I'll be back.
Apollo might be back in the Union game, but one bloke who is back, Inga Tugamola, playing for Wasps.
Rugby union, you know, I've always played in rugby union down the Southern Hemisphere, and it's probably very similar to rugby league in the intensity, the physicalness,
And the
and also
speed.
in the speed, the way they play it down in New Zealand. So there's not much difference in that sense, but the only difference is the aerobic fitness that is required to play rugby league as opposed to rugby union.
Well, you're obviously enjoying it, and we're enjoying watching you. So crank it up today.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lodge. Here we have the flying winger, Martin O'Fire. This is one bloke I would love to munch. If only he would stand still long enough. This cheeky chappie has played both codes. I just wonder what he thinks.
I used to say that I think league was far more ferocious due to the mere fact that it was professional, and as you know, when money comes into anything, people tend to get a bit more violent, and I think you might have got a bit more violent actually. Luckily it was amateur when you were playing. But that might all change now. Now it's all come professional. I don't know if win bonuses will come into it, but that might change union a bit as well.
Martin O'Fire, can he tackle?
Well, I mean, it's like anything else. You get stereotyped into one certain thing or another. I mean, they say you're quick, you might have a bad toe like today, and you might still nip in, and the papers will still say you're running at 100 miles an hour when you know you don't. On the other hand, you could go all season and not miss a tackle, but the minute you miss one tackle, they're on you like that.
I know what you're all thinking. Is it league or is it union? Is it the fat boys or is it the girls? I want to know as well. Who are the big hitters? So, a special reporter, a fat boy, decided to go to Main Road, up north, to see the clash of the codes. So here we are, in the home of Rugby League, the home of Wigan.
Well, it's rugby league country, but it's Man City football ground skins.
Are we going to see a Bosch? Are we going to be a Strong? Are we going to see a Large? I'll tell you what, we're going to see Bath munched big time.
These guys are ultra fit, they have to be, because as we play internationals, all right, in the Five Nations every other 2 weeks or whatever, they're playing an international probably when they play the Bradfords, the St Helens. That's the capacity, and that's this. I'm not saying that obviously when Bath play Orrell or Gloucester it's no different, but the intensity is so much higher because so much more is at stake.
Yes, I know it was one-way traffic in the first half up at Main Road, but in the second, my mates down at Bath did us proud. Did us, the Union game, proud, because they stuck at it.
snooker player.
And 2 weeks later, so here we are, history in the making. Bath v Wigan, but this time it's payback time. The pretty boys of Bath are going to take on Wigan, take them on and take them apart. Let's go and see what happens. Right, who's going to win today?
Bath.
Can you tackle? Right, who are you going to tackle?
You.
You're going to tackle me? Because it is our time to give Wigan the spanking they deserve after Main Road. Tackle. Who's going to make the biggest tackle of the afternoon?
Rory Underwood if he's playing.
Rory Underwood's not playing today. Unlucky. Upon me elbow. Oh! Brilliant. Right, can we cut now? Or do you want to go like that instead? So, after 3, who's going to win today? Wigan. And a kiss as well. Brilliant. Wrong. Brilliant. Ah! Today at Twickenham HQ, Wigan meet their makers. Twickenham comes back to Union, the better. Bath triumphant. Well, there's only one thing for it. I know what my allegiance is. Bath Rugby Football Union. So that was the clash of the codes, League and Union. And Mike Stevenson, I wonder what that old boy would have thought, because he is the stalwart of the League code. I just wonder what he would have thought about it.
Cut out the stalwart bit. Mate, I got an invite to Twickers. Straight up. Chardonnay was nice.
Oh, lovely. So, Mike, Wigan, Bath, Union v League. What do you think about all that?
I thought it was tremendous, bringing the two codes together. I thought that both codes learnt something from it. I think the Rugby Union boys were absolutely blitzed up in Manchester, but they got their own back at Twickenham.
And the tackling at Main Road, do you think that's exactly what let Bath down?
I think the problem was that they were not used to this immense tackling on top of each other, doing one, coming back the 10 metres, going into tackle again, coming back on the 10 metres. They were caught floundering. As Wigan were caught floundering at Twickenham, they couldn't match the ruck and maul area.
So physically, there's a different physique for League compared to Union. Obviously, the fat boys of Union at Main Road found it difficult getting up and getting up. Could you explain the League tackle?
Well, the thing is, it's all in the essence of speed. They've got to be able to move forward, make your tackle, make the impact, and then retreat back the 10 metres. So in effect, during the course of a game, you could do anything up to about half a mile, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. Whereas in rugby union, you can put yourself into that loose maul, you can just use your strength for driving forward. So there are different muscles, there are different strength factors that you use in union as against rugby league. In rugby league, when you make the tackle, you try to make the impact. One low, one over the top to stop the man from passing the football. And then when you stop the progress, to ensure that when you put him to ground, you put him on his back. Now that allows that split second extra for your defence, then to get back and then get a straight line of defence. That's why you'll see in rugby league that when they make the tackle, they'll try to put the ball carrier onto his back. Those vital seconds can help in winning the game. The game is changing, and whether we like it or not, both codes are going to get so close to each other that they may not join together, but I'll tell you one thing, there will be a hybrid game that will come out of it, which will become worldwide. And once it gets started in America, and it's probably going to be played inside these wonderful indoor dome stadiums that they have in the States, and when we get to that point, you just watch for what I think will be called Super Rugby, a combination of both codes, and it will be a winner.
No room for fat boys?
No room for you, boy.
Yeah, but one of the main differences between League and Union is tackling. In League, 3 against 1. In Union, 1v1. Isn't that right, kids? Yeah! Right, here we go. Don't remember to put your head. Brilliant. That's a bit better, isn't it? Do you watch Brookside or Coronation Street? Yeah. Because you nearly talk as much as the women on there, don't you? Head behind him and not in front of him. Because what'll happen if you put your head in front of him? You'll get it squashed by the fat boy. And you don't want to get your head squashed by the fat boy, do you? Because I'm going to do it next, and I'm even fatter. Go!
Gosh!
How many people does it take to tackle in League? Strong! Come on, crank it up, crank it up. Big tackle, big tackle. Save one, that is a try, save and tackle. Well done. And here are a few more.
Just when the England forwards win some clean ball for the backs, a fat boy, Bevan, crocks up in the centre. Tony, he must have the legs. On the outside, it's a sure try. What a cracker. John Timu. If only he knew which side to put his head. But I'm pleased to say that it's not just the England wingers that get caught short from the line. Here we have Jeff Wilson, an international cricketer. It must be a try. But as you see here, with the line begging, George Gregan puts in a cracker. A real munch. Posh! And that great Sevens exponent, Eric Rush, opens his legs. He must be there. But bosh! Matt Burke sees him off into touch with a great cover and tackle. I know it's probably not fair to talk about covering tackles or tackles in general when David Campese's on the pitch. But here, playing fullback for Australia, he can dog it. 10, 20, 30 yards to make a try-saving tackle against France. But I just wonder, can referees be fat boys too? Just where is the mute? There he is. We know, Clive Norling, you have ate all the pies. If only you were given some eyes, because that was not a try. If you were a betting man, would you put money on Blanco here? Well, I think Ian Williams has lost a few bob. The Skinner family just want to see this one more time. It might be old hat, but bosh! It gives me so much pleasure. The fat boy in the water, he's getting bored, but bosh! Just one more time. Yes, but there's one thing that we just don't have any time for in rugby, and that's the cheap shot. And here are some. But sometimes, when you're a fat boy, you just can't stop yourself. You get told off, naughty, naughty. But one thing that I detest, and that's this high tackle. We've got no time for that, but we've got time for the wobble wig. But just what is happening here? One bloke you can't call a Jessica, and that's James Small. He's out to lunch. Another bloke that's out to lunch is that Argentinian prop, Federico Mendes. And Guy Acosta-Berry gets it in the ear. Gear. And this is a cracker. Who says second rows can't munch? But somebody is out to lunch. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, there's a try being scored. Bosh! I know it was a bit late, but there was no call for all this hanky-panky. I don't want to condone it, but one thing I want to point out, watch the prop sticking his tongue out. No! But let's get back to the serious cheap shots. There's a bosh and there's a cheap shot. From a scrum half on a back row. If it was me, I'd have got up, dusted myself down and gone for a pint. But what is Michael Bryle all about? There's a cracking tackle on Lomu, but then Bunce gets it. Bosh, bosh, Bunce. That is just not on. Thumbs up from Bryle, thumbs down from the Munch. And now competition time. Spot the vampire. Well, Sean Fitzpatrick did, spotting Johan Leroux taking a chunk out of his ear. Banned for 19 months. Not long enough. But one thing banned in league that I'd like to see brought into our game of union, and that is the spear tackle, where you pick the man up and dump him on the floor. It's very, very dangerous.
Well, it's probably one of the most dangerous tackles that in both codes. Brain damage, neck damage, spinal damage is something that we don't want within rugby league circles.
Yes, you're right, Steve-O, but it's going to be difficult to referee. Just look at this. Was Lawrence Delalio's intention to injure Michael Lynagh? I don't think so. But one thing I do know, that both Union and League haven't got time for the cheap shot. When the player is defenceless on the ground. Here we have Richard Lowe attacking Paul Carrozza on the floor. Cheap. And League have their cheap shots too. They might have banned spear tackling, but just how do you ban this?
Come on, tackle. Now that is a missed tackle. And here's a few more. Large. Oh!
Dowie Morris, lovely cheap shot, but this bit's about missed tackles. There's one, and two, and poor old Catty, three. Now, I hate to show England in a bad light, but sometimes, to help the future of rugby union in England, you have to show our little mistakes, no matter how big they are. Nearly, Tony. Unlucky, Will. Bosh! To Mike. But this is one to savour. The time that Lowe gets his comeuppance. Bosh! Well done, Gav. But you're never going to run through a back row man as well. Bosh! Valentine. Get off! Get off! Will you leave me alone? And here's Leon, dying for a pint. Get out the road! My pint's on the bar! Hooray! Coochie, coochie, coo. Right. Robinson's my man. Oi, somebody get Robinson. Oi, on the wing. Oi, he's mine. Oi, Billy. Get Billy. Oh, unlucky. Oi, a fire. Oi, you mute. Thanks for the pass. Oi, I'm so strong. Posh! Where's her fire? Oi, come here. Mwah.
Right now is the time for me to give you my greatest hits.
And at number 6, because I played number 6, that Bosh on Backy from Bunce. Just watch Backy's legs. And ferocious at 5 is Alan Wilson's top Bosh on Steve Prescott. Just watch the ball. Thanks for the pass, Steve. And fierce at 4 is Valerie Matautier. Just look at this bloke munch through these tackles. Just watch how many tackles he's missed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, large. And terribly strong at 3 is Lomu, the man mountain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 for luck, 6. Huge. This boy has no respect, least for Northern Transvaal. In fact, if you watch closely, he's got no respect for the post either. Terrific at 2 is Lee Penny getting terminated by Apollo Perolini. What an expression. Wonderful at 1 just proves you don't have to be a big lad to crank it up. Here we have Kieran Bracken on Craig Joyner, sending him back once where he came. You've seen my 6 top Boshes, but this one you have not seen. You might have thought that Scotland won the 1990 Grand Slam. They think they did, but just let's look a bit closer at what really happened. The crowd thought it was a try, but the reverse angle tells the true story. The Munch comes into shot. Bosh on the line. The ball goes free. The Munch saves the day.
Let's finish this programme where rugby football started, at Rugby School in the heart of England. If it wasn't for the fat boy Webbo, I wouldn't be here now. Who knows where rugby football's going? But I do know that you're going to be large.
Ho, ho, ho! Bosh! This is why you lost it today, Wigan. The line out. Our game of union has got a little bit intricate. Sorry. How's me hair, anyway? Bosh! And in this very room, probably at this very table, definitely in this... Oh, God. Munch! Munch! Munch!
Have you got your passport?
Pick that boy up. Pick that boy up? That's for sure. Oh! Have a look.
As my mate says, here. Crunch. Out to munch. Bosh. A big bosh. Crash, bang, wallop. He's never had a crash, bang, wallop, munch, out to munch, crunch, or crank it up in his life, in his entire rugby union career. Crunch.
Outstanding.